All right. Coop, you grew up in Yakima, went to Eastern Washington. You had to be a Seahawks fan growing up, right?
Yeah, I was a Seahawks fan growing up, actually, until I was a huge fan. It was when it was, Sean Alexander was playing. I mean, some of the guys there on TV now, like Nate Burleson was there, when Matt Hasselbeck was there. And then I found out that when the game was over, it was bedtime. And so once I found that out, then it was just, I want overtime. Whoever was playing, I was overtime always.
What did the Seahawks team mean to you? You watched the Super Bowl 40, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What did that mean to you growing up?
Yeah, I think it was super cool. I mean, it's always like you have so many memories just as a family. Every Sunday we get up in the morning, we go to church, and then we come back home, and Dad would make nachos, and we'd watch football games. And it was like there's so much sentimental, nostalgic emotion that's built up, and all those memories with Dad and with my brothers and with my mom, and all this time that's like, man, it's not just the Seahawks. It's part of our family. It's part of what we did growing up, and so it was just a really cool thing because that's something that we all got to do together and cheer for together. So it meant a lot.
So does it mean something special to you that you're building those memories for some families watching the Seahawks now?
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. I think that's something that everyone that's playing in this game, like, you remember all the things you dreamed about as a kid. You never dreamed about doing that in the preseason. You always dreamed about doing it on the biggest stage and the biggest moment, making the biggest play. And so, like, it's the power of those dreams that you had as a kid, being able to live those. But then on top of that, you're now that for someone else. Yeah. And the responsibility that comes with that is something I don't take that lightly. I want to be, if people are going to look at me, I want them to feel good about that. I want parents to feel good about their kids looking up to me, and because it's just a game that I play. It's a game that I've loved and played my entire life. But there's so much now that I know is so important to my kids that I want to model. So many things are way more important than, I think one of the coolest things this year was, before the game, I always get down on knee and pray right before the game starts. And we're playing at home with the boys, and Cypress, our second born, he's not emulating a touchdown celebration or anything. He's like, before the game starts, he gets down and prays. He's like, Dad always prays. Dad always prays before the game. And that was the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing. It's like, man, those are the things that are important.
Well, you have been special that way. My boys came out to training camp this summer, and they wanted to meet you. Mm-hmm. And they did, and got a big thrill, and you take that seriously.
Mm-hmm. No, I do. I think that's something that was, you just hold people up on a pedestal, and they always say you don't want to meet your heroes, and in some ways I've had to live that in my own life. Like, man, there are things that's like, man, it's just, there's things that you hold people up, and like, we're humans. Everyone is a human, and there's going to be mistakes. There's all of these things, but as best as I possibly can, I want to be someone that people can be proud of, and I want to live my life that way. I want it to be more than just how I'm playing out on the football field, and now, yeah, like I said, having kids, that's even more important.
Well, you mentioned doing it on the biggest stage. You've been on this big stage before. Mm-hmm. Have you spoken to your teammates about what this is all about in this Super Bowl experience?
Yeah, I think we talked on it a little bit. It's one of those things, like in football, you never want to get too far ahead of yourself. It's like you're trying to be in that moment. You're bringing in the day of what it is. Football Wednesday is Football Wednesday. Like, the focus is first and second down. And so you don't want to get too far ahead of even that, just what that moment is. And now that we're here, and the moment is to go, compete for a world championship, there's going to be time for that. There's going to be moments now that there are going to be some conversations, and knowing that I've got a little more experience in this world as a player, at least. We've got coaches that are on staff that have coached in this thing, but as a player, having been there a couple times, it's definitely going to be something that's talked about. And at the end of the day, though, it's another game. There's all this hoopla, all this stuff that's like, wants to make you think it's different, but when the game starts, it's the same game.
Now, you're telling me you just kept it as another game when you did it for the Rams and you were the MVP of the Super Bowl. It was just another game.
It's just another game. Just again, that's all it is at the end of the day. The halftime's a little bit longer. That's it.
Well, you did it, and you were fantastic. And then it comes to a point where the Rams say, "Coop, you're not going to be back." How did that hit you? And then tell me about the process of getting to Seattle.
Yeah, and that was tough. I mean, I was there for 8 years, friendships, the memories, all the different stuff. I mean, it's hard because it was good, you know, and to see that come to an end was a hard thing. And you know, we were in a tough place there for a little bit, and it was hard for, you know, my family, and we had just set roots down. As a family, you have community and people that you you build relationships with. And so having that, knowing that was going to be something that was going to be taken away, that's something that we weren't going to be able to enjoy, but it was really hard. It was really hard, and you know, a lot of prayer through that. But like, man, to be in this moment now, like, to be like, man, we weren't even thinking that Seattle was an option. You know, being in the NFC West, how it all played out.
How did it happen?
Yeah, well, because we weren't thinking. We were thinking it was going to be a trade thing initially, and then once it got to the point where, okay, well, this is going to end up being a release situation. It's like it just kind of happened real fast. Like, this was a team that was interested, and more than like they wanted me up here, and it just felt like we were very prayerful through, like, where are we supposed to be? Where is the place that you're leading us to? And it just felt like this was where it was supposed to be. And once we got up here, it wasn't smooth transition. It wasn't like, oh, it's all hunky dory. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's just a new place that we had never done this before. We never had to move our boys. We never had to figuring out where to live and how you're going to. Like, what's like moving up here? What communities what community are you going to be a part of?
So it wasn't just you.
Yeah, it's not me. It's our boys. Our boys have all their friends.
Family.
All their friends want to, you know, and every day they're asking why they can't have their friends. And like, I was asked every day for months, you know, why did the Rams not want you to be there anymore?
What did you say?
And you know, there's a lot. It's a lot. It's a different, because I can't give the same reason every time. It's like, and there's like, you know, this is part of how football works. There's just timing. Maybe God wants us up here now. You know, the Rams have other plans of how they want to do things. You know, you're trying to explain to a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, you know, what these reasons are that are, like, you know, very complex decisions, and it's not easy. But like, reassuring them that we're where we're supposed to be. We're where we're supposed to be, and I get to go out there and play football, and they get to come out and be a part of it and watch it. And you've seen on the sidelines, like, their excitement for these things now. You know, last time we were in the Super Bowl, my oldest was 4, or maybe less than 3. You know, so he doesn't remember it too much. But now, I mean, he's so pumped for it. Like, he's all he's talking about.
The Super Bowl,
exactly,
right?
exactly. He's so excited about it. My second, who was a baby, is now old enough to kind of have some build some, you know, hopefully have some memories of this. So it's a special thing, like, being here. It's like, man, there's all this turmoil, all this stuff that's like, man, we had to go through that was really hard for our family, really hard for my wife to have all of her support system, all of her stuff that she has built up, and she's got to come and start over again. That's hard. That's just hard. It doesn't matter in whoever you are, in any stage of life, wherever you're at, like, moving is a difficult thing. Transplanting your family is a difficult thing, and trying to build these connections and build relationships with people is hard. And so for all this stuff that they did, all the sacrifice that they had, and their support of me, and taking on all this, like, for it to be in this moment, for us to have to play the Rams even in the NFC Championship to get here.
What did that feel like?
It was. I mean, for the storyline, I said this last week. Like, I'm one of 53 of these stories that are out there on that field, and in my world, in my small little world, it was unbelievable that this is a story that was written, that it was going to be having to go through the Rams, and, you know, all of my friends, like, so many guys on that team that are lifelong friends, guys that, you know, guys that I root for and cheer on and want to succeed, want their families to succeed, and
except for that day,
yeah,
right?
exactly. But that's the thing. Like, now we're in the division too, so you're also like, all year there's this push and pull. Like your heart, you feel like you're just getting ripped apart every time the game. I honestly couldn't watch the games. Anytime the Rams were on, I couldn't watch because it was so conflicting for me to be rooting for so many people, but also having to hope that they don't win because it benefits us and our team and what we're trying to do. So man, it was such a challenge, but it was such an incredible thing to have that opportunity to, like, we had to walk through that. We had to walk through last week. My family and I had to walk through all that is, and to be here right now is it's incredible.
Well, I was here in training camp, and so many coaches and so many players told me Cooper Kupp has just been amazing. He's brought something special to us. What did you want to bring when you came to the Seahawks?
Yeah, well, I wanted to be an asset for the team. I wanted to make sure that I could come out here and, however things went the last couple of years in LA, I still believed in the player that I could be, and given an opportunity, I could, contribute and be an asset as a football player, first and foremost. And I probably just wanted to show the guys when I got here, I can still do this. But I think more importantly, I wanted to be an impactful. As much as I wanted to be an impactful player, I wanted to be an impactful person. I wanted to be able to impact people's lives. I wanted to help people's careers. I wanted to be a multiplier. However it is. I want to be someone that if I walk into a room that you feel like you can be a better version of yourself by something that, like, if I can contribute, if I can help you get there, I want to do that. And I feel like real quickly I fell in love with a lot of the guys here that just are like the way they went about their business and the people that they are, how they treated one another, how they the respect they have for the coaches, the reverence for the game. It's like, and these are guys that I can get behind. These are guys that I can, that I want to support and be able to raise up. And so, in that way, it made it really easy to, lean into that, and be able to come along guys, and their openness to being able to be receptive to things that I had to say, I think was really cool as well.
Then you had to build a relationship with Sam Darnold, your quarterback. How did that come about?
Yeah, I think the quarterback receiver thing, it's kind of a natural progression. There's no one else that you're spending more time with than the quarterback. And as much as you're trying to go out there and it's throwing and catching, but it's speaking the same language. It's like seeing the game the same way. And the more in tune all of those things are, the better we can be. And so it's when we're running routes, it's not just my conversations with Sam. It's my conversation with Sam can mean something for the entire group. It's not just this is how I'm going to do it. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to run this route. So that he can count on us, whoever it is, whoever's lining up at X, that's running this route is going to be in the spot they're supposed to be at the right time. And so that was great to be able to have some of those conversations in OTAs and training camp, and so many guys that wanted to be a part of those too, that wanted to be like, hey, because I can have that conversation and be meaningful to me and Sam, but if no one else is interested in it, then it doesn't really mean much. But when we're all on that, when we're all like, hey, we can all be a part of this, and our unit, our group is going to be, able to benefit, but also going to be able to help Sam and our team get to where we want to go. It was awesome to see just collectively those relationships kind of grow and with Sam.
When did you know he was going to be special?
Sam?
Yes.
Well, I'll say this: when we played Sam when he was with the Jets back in 2020, and he beat us in LA. And I remember watching some stuff then and being like Sam can throw the football. So what he can do, it was a throw scrambling out to his left. And I remember actually the next year when we were watching a clip of him, I don't know if it was in crossover film or what it was, but we saw him roll out to his left and make a throw. And we were watching the defense at the time, it was Matthew and I, and Matthew was like, he is one of the best throwers of the football. Being able to scramble left, throw this pass how he is, there's no doubt that he's got the ability to do it. He just whatever it was, systematically, coaching points, however you want to shape it, like all that stuff comes into play for a quarterback. And so when I got here and saw his process, and having already known that he can throw the thing, he can make every throw you want him to make. But having seen his process and how he went about things mentally, I'm like, he's got all the pieces here to be a very special quarterback. So very early on in those conversations, like, I know he can throw it. I can see how he goes about his business and how he prepares. I was like, man, there's going to be the ceiling was sky high.
Another element for you guys that I've noticed has been Clint Kubiak. I think he's brought something special to you. Tell me about Coach Kubiak.
Yeah, so Clint's great. I mean, he's so mild-mannered. Like, he can stay so steady and so calm through some of the highest adversity you'll see in football. But I think part of it is because he takes it all on himself. It's like he's so accountable to saying, if something goes wrong, it's the extreme accountability of saying, well, that's my fault first for whatever, not communicating it well enough. It's my fault for not coaching it well enough. It's my fault for not thinking about the situation that we were going to put you guys in. And when you got a coach that starts there, it allows everyone then the freedom to be able to take accountability themselves. Because, yes, the leader, whoever's in charge, is accountable at the end of the day. But we all play a role in it. We are all out in the field. We all had an opportunity to see it. We all had an opportunity to anticipate and be able to fix whatever was there. But when he has the courage and the security to be able to say, hey, that's my fault first, man, just seeing how everyone can step up after that, like, hey, no, we can be better in this way as well. Players meeting together and saying, hey, we can fix these problems on our own, and like how it spurs the motivation, the intrinsic motivation to be better for someone like that. Because you're like, yeah, look, he's taking the heat for us. Let's find a way to be able to make these things right. So that's Clint in a nutshell. And he's brought that accountability. He's brought that and caused that motivation to happen with our offense. And then on top of it all, I think he's doing a great job scheming us up.
The scheme seems to be pretty fantastic.
Yeah, to be successful, and being able his commitment to the run game, play action. It's just the marriage of the run pass. It's how I've learned, and I've had great coaches. That's how I've learned that this game is most effectively run. You lean on the run. You make guys cover the whole field. You make things look the same, but be different. You make things simple for the offense that look difficult for a defense, and all those things. Like, he embodies all that stuff, and so it's been a fun thing to be a part of.
I have to take you back to the NFC Championship game. It's a third down play, big moment. You guys need a first down to keep things going. You said you made a cardinal sin by reaching the ball out. What made you do that, and why do you think it's a cardinal sin?
Yeah, so I guess I think it was just the moment. First of all, I think it was the moment of what that was. I told you that in my story, my small story, this was an incredible thing to be like, I was gonna have to go through the Rams. Like, in my story, right, it was the Seahawks versus the Rams, but I just felt like in my story, like, I was gonna have to do something. I was gonna have to do something that was gonna put us through, and I don't know what it was. What God was putting on my heart. It's like when we actually called the play first, had to take a timeout. We were about to change the play, and I was like, no, I know we're going to this other play because it has to be it has to be me that's gonna have to make this play. We came back, we called it again after the timeout, changed the play in the huddle. As soon as we called the play, I was like, this is gonna be my ball. And it wasn't anything. It was just the only time I'm getting that ball is a real soft zone, which I didn't think we were going to be getting, or man to man. They'd have to be taking away some other guys, and I'm like, this is going to be one of those things. I'm going to have to be the one that has to step up and make this play. I just know it's just the way that this whole season's been written out, the way that God's written this story. It's easy to put it on my plate, and I can either step up to the plate and make it happen, or fall short. We got to the line of scrimmage, and of course, I'm like, this feels like it's man-to-man. They had two high safeties, so it's either two-man, which you don't see a ton of with the LA Rams, or they're trying to they're going to double someone, probably Jax, and try to take him away. and they ended up getting, I think they double jacks. I think they had help on Sheed, and so I had the one-on-one. And I knew as soon as we got out there, I'm like, this is just going to be me having to run away from this guy and make a play. And so when I caught the ball, saw I was short, I was like, this is just, I felt so good about my grip on the ball that I was like, I feel good about being able to reach it out. Because the reason you don't reach is if I get tackled short there, Mike's going to call it. Mike's going to go for on 4th down, on 4th and short. And at least we give him the option to make that decision. If I fumble that, we don't even have the option. We don't even have the option, and the game's, we were potentially giving the ball to the Rams. There's a lot of time on the clock in a short field. And so that's why you don't reach on 3rd, reach on 4th down, you reach at the end of the game.
But you did, and it was good. So
yeah,
now you're going to the Super Bowl.
And we're going to the Super Bowl. Process over results, so I'm not doing that. I'm not going to start making that a habit.
All right. Well, thank you, Cooper. This has been fantastic. Good luck. Can't wait to watch you.
Tony, thank you so much.
All righty.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.